What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I will be tackling an interesting concept. I recently was involved in the little discussion we were having in the YouTube video comment section about Super Smash Bros. And it was towards what we kind of want to expect, we as Nintendo fans want for the next Super Smash Bros. And I know they've done this stuff for Pokemon and other Nintendo games that have continuity in the series. So like the next Mario Kart, so whatever Mario Kart 9 would be technically, stuff like that. So I want to make one about Super Smash Bros. And put the input that I put into the comments that I made. Super Smash Bros. Is a long-coming franchise. I actually had Super Smash Bros. As my first game on Nintendo 64, so I played the hell out of it. I put so many hours in that. First Smash Bros. Came out in 1999, was on the Nintendo 64, of course. The Did You Know Gaming's on it. I don't have to go over the trivia and stuff. Amazing game for like the amount of stuff it lacked compared to the now games. It was a pretty great game. Great classic mode, the great bonus stages of the break the targets and board the platforms, which I actually spent a lot of time on those. And then once you unlock the different characters, it was pretty cool. I really liked the game. Yeah, Smash Bros. Mainly in 2001. Added a crap load of new ways to play Smash with giant melee, the tournament modes, which of course was great. Even more characters, the new classic or adventure mode that they had, and they introduced trophies, which was amazing, and I really missed the trophies actually. Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out in 2008 for the Wii, which was a wonderful game. I think it played pretty well, except for the few tripping mechanics and stuff. The Space Emissary was amazing. It was wonderful. It was pretty weird to have an actual story based on the Smash Bros. Game, which was cool though. That would help the way to introduce the characters. A lot of new favorite characters in that game. Then you come down to Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS and for the Wii U, which both released in 2014. Also great games, introduced the customization of characters, and then also, because I forgot to mention, Brawl introduced the customization of stages, which I also missed, so Nintendo, bring that back if you get the chance. And now you have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which came out last year in 2018 for the Nintendo Switch. I bought it digitally, so I don't have a game case to show you physically, but it's on here, so yeah. Now, going on to the topics. Some people mentioned that they'd want a reboot, or that Nintendo would reboot the Super Smash Bros. Game if they were to make another entry within a couple years from now. I say no, screw that. I don't want a remade. Why would you remaster any of them instead of just adding the features into the next Smash Bros. Game? And on that comment, I don't want a next Smash Bros. Game at least until 2025. Give us a couple years to play this game. We still have more characters to come, a couple more stages and more songs. There's so much we can still do. We have time. Like, look, it was a 5-year time period between the last Smash Bros. And before that, it was a well over 6-year time period. So 5 to 6 years seems like a pretty good time between entries. We don't get, I don't want an Assassin's Creed every year or a Call of Duty game every year, because you don't get to put that much effort into every single installment. Being that as it may, every Smash Bros. Game has a bigger, better roster. Smash Ultimate is no exception. The next Smash Bros. Game is going to have even more characters. And building on to that, I know it seems like a huge dream to have that might not ever work, honestly, but I think if Nintendo wants to make an even bigger crossover fighting game than Smash Bros. Ultimate, which seems kind of impossible at the moment, the only sure way to do it is to get licensing. Team up with Sony, team up with Microsoft. I know, it seems like it's never going to happen, it seems impossible, but think about it this way. Bandai Namco already makes fighting games such as the Naruto games, the Ultimate Ninja Showdowns for PS4, PS3. They made it for GameCube at one point, I think, or that might have been a Ubisoft thing, I'm not really sure. But they've made it for the PlayStation and the Xbox, and then they worked together with Nintendo to make Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it just kind of makes sense to, if they're already a publisher that worked with one company, why not have the publisher and the licensing agreement on all three companies? Can you imagine an Ultimate crossover game? You could probably just call it Smash. just Smash. And it would be licensed by Nintendo, by Sony, and by Microsoft. Can you imagine how big of a worldwide announcement, world record breaker, everything? That would be the year that Nintendo characters are playable on third-party systems. Can you imagine a Smash Bros. Game that lets everybody connect together, just like Fortnite's doing with that, with whatever their Epic Games, where you can play on Xbox or PC or PS4, or like Minecraft did with Xbox, PC, or PS4, where you can, or a Switch, where you can play from different platforms. You can play online multiplayer, because that is the dream. So can you imagine the next Smash Bros. Game coming out on all the systems? You see it on PS4, on Xbox, on, well, not PC obviously, but on Nintendo, and it could be all the exclusive characters. You can have Crash Bandicoot, you could have Spyro the Dragon, you could have Sly Cooper, you could have Banjo-Kazooie, you could have Kratos from the God of War series, you could have Frank Miller from the Dead Rising games, you could have Halo, Master Chief, like, you know, you could have so many things. And I know obviously a lot of these characters like Frank West are also already available on Marvel vs. Capcom, which is already a thing, but that would really be its only competitor, you know? And that's just one point that can make this game great. If they got licensing to do all those characters together in one giant thing, because then imagine the music they can get, imagine the stages that you could build. Just, it'd be wonderful. And I mean, it's 6 years to develop. I know it's not a lot of time, especially for a game that ambitious, but I mean, if they start now. And the other idea I had is they would have to implement some kind of new mechanic if they're going to top Smash Bros. Ultimate. So what I had in mind was a little Yu-Gi-Oh! Bakugan crossover type deal mechanic thing. Majiggy. What I'm thinking, and Nintendo, hire me if you take this idea, please, or at least send me a check with my name on it, you know, just $10,000, nothing big. My idea is to do what Nintendo already is doing with Pokemon Go, and what they started to do with Pokemon Let's Go on the Switch. Now I know this might be a little bit harder because the Switch doesn't have a camera built into it, but I have this idea. A true way that Nintendo could top itself in this new Smash Bros. Is adding VR and or AR, so virtual reality or augmented reality. Not really towards VR, but for augmented reality, think about this. And I'll show you an example with the video and something I'll make up, I guess. But think about taking your favorite amiibos, since you already have all of them that you collected and spent hours on and drove miles for to collect when the amiibo scarce was real. Taking your favorite amiibos, since you already have them, you don't have to buy them again if you didn't sell them or anything. Taking your favorite amiibos and buying a special mat, you know, so that way only one person would need it. So just like the dock, if you're going to a friend's house and you can bring over your Switch, not everybody has to bring their dock. You just have to bring your dock and your Switch, and then everybody can bring their GameCube controllers, or they can bring their Pro controllers or whatever, right? So imagine having a special mat just like you would in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any other trading card game. Place your amiibo on the table in you know, the designated slots, and then you would be able to grab your Switch, unless your Switch came with some kind of device. You would hover it over your amiibo. It would recognize the amiibo, however many amiibo, you know, like probably up to 4 characters, at least for that mode. Recognize your amiibo, and then it would lock it in here. So say you're doing Greninja and Wii Fit Trainer, right? So once you have your amiibos locked in on the mat, with your Switch, your characters lock in, and then the stage becomes real in your hands, and then you can just kind of move your Switch around to switch the angles from which you're fighting, and it would be that simple, you know? In order to fight in that mode, you have to have the amiibo with you. So obviously you can still play regular Smash Bros, you know, via the actual hardware, you know, by having the characters you have unlocked. But think about the amiibos also being a way to unlock characters if you're buying a new Smash Bros game. or using those to battle each other. So if I don't have a Marth, then I can't use a Marth against whoever I'm playing with, you know. And the catch there that would be, though, they would have to have their own Switch. But at this point, in 2025, if you don't have a Switch, what are you doing with your life? Here's what I could do to make, or what my suggestion would be to make the next Smash Bros game amazing. I know it'd be very un-Nintendo to have a giant crossover like that and team up with Microsoft and Sony, but I mean, that's the next big thing I could really think about as far as Super Smash Bros. Could go, you know. It's either that or they'd have to have some kind of installment where it features brand new characters, like no more Mario, Donkey Kong, Fox, you know, Pikachu, all the basic starters from the 64 game. You would basically say goodbye to all these characters and focus on a whole new wave of characters. So none of the characters that would be featured in Smash Ultimate would be featured in this game. It'd be like a whole new thing, basically. But it just seems like it's not going to go that way, so I think this is the best way to do it. That's all I have to chime in on this opinion. I think it'd be great. If you agree, let me know. If you don't, you know, let me know as well. Maybe you have a better idea. Maybe this is something that can be taken and worked on, and you know, have an even better idea of what we could do for a new Smash Bros. But that's what I would like to see personally. That would be great. Either the VR/AR or the team up with, you know, the end of the console wars, essentially, for at least one game. Hope you enjoyed this video. I post new videos every Wednesday, so subscribe to stay updated. I'm gonna try to do way more stuff than I promised, because that seems to be what I do at the end of every video. Thanks for watching. Follow me on social media. I post a lot. No, I don't really. Hope you enjoyed this video.